Here is something nobody warned you about. Right now, at this exact moment in your life, there is a version of you that is fully capable of everything you have been telling yourself you want. More money, more respect, more peace, more control. And that version is not locked behind better circumstances, a better economy, or a better set of opportunities. He is locked behind four things you have been losing control of quietly every single day, possibly for years. Your mouth, your mind, your mood, and your money. Do not surrender your peace to the behavior of other people or the randomness of external circumstances. A man who can maintain a calm and deliberate mind in the middle of genuine chaos is carrying the single most powerful weapon available to any human being. And control your money, because your financial habits are not just about dollars. They are a direct mirror of your discipline, the most honest reflection of who you are when comfort is available and temptation is standing right in front of you. The world you are living in right now is saturated with noise. Opinions projected without any genuine thought behind them. Emotions expressed without any restraint filtering them. Arguments pursued with no objective other than the primitive satisfaction of being heard. In an environment that loud and that undisciplined, the person who speaks less and listens more becomes something genuinely rare. A presence that commands attention precisely because it does not demand it. Silence also functions as a shield for your emotional state. Other people will consistently attempt to pull you into arguments that benefit only them, provoke reactions in you that they can then exploit, or deposit their negativity into your mental space because you are there and the door is open. If you respond to every provocation, if you react to every manufactured conflict, if you accept every invitation to emotional chaos that gets extended your way, you are handing complete strangers the power to dictate the condition of your mind. But silence is not simply the absence of talking. Silence is the active presence of control. When you are silent, you are not empty. You are full of awareness, of patience, of the kind of strategic observation that loud people cannot access because they are too busy making noise to notice what the world is handing them for free. You are not silent because you lack things to say. You are silent because you have developed the discernment to know that not everything worth thinking is worth saying. The loud man announces himself to the world and makes himself a predictable target. The silent man develops the kind of mystery that forces the world to pay attention before it understands what it is looking at. People respect what they cannot fully read, and the one who controls what he reveals controls the story the world tells about him. Hold your tongue when the impulse rises. Listen more aggressively than you speak. Think for longer than feels comfortable before you act. Let your results be the loudest thing associated with your name. This is why negative thinking is not simply a matter of attitude or temporary mood. It is a structural problem. It infects every decision you make, distorts every risk assessment you attempt, and systematically narrows the set of opportunities you are even capable of perceiving as real. Guarding your thoughts means standing as a deliberate and disciplined soldier at the mental gates of your life. Every day, an enormous volume of external input is attempting to pass through those gates. Your mental diet determines everything about the man you are becoming. What are you feeding your mind with genuine consistency every single day? Are you feeding it with knowledge that expands your capacity, perspectives that challenge your current thinking, and visions that pull you forward? Or are you feeding it with the mindless entertainment designed to keep you passive, the shallow content engineered to hold your attention while delivering nothing of value? Emotions are instruments, not authorities. The instant you allow your emotional state to occupy the position of final decision maker in your life, you have handed the controls to a system that operates without strategy, without patience, and without any genuine concern for where your life ends up. The man who takes direction from his emotions will consistently find himself in battles he never needed to fight, depleted by costs he never needed to pay. The greatest leaders history has produced were not distinguished by the absence of emotional experience. They were distinguished by what they chose to do while the emotional experience was actively happening. When panic spread through the people around them, they maintained the calm that clarity requires. When despair threatened to extinguish collective will, they kept their own in motion. People do not follow the loudest person in a crisis. They follow the calmest. Your emotions exist to work for you, not to lead you. Anger directed deliberately becomes the fuel for improvement rather than the instrument of destruction. Fear examined carefully becomes the input for more thorough preparation rather than the justification for paralysis. Sadness engaged honestly becomes the deepening of your understanding of what genuinely matters to you rather than the undertow that pulls you under. Building your emotional command happens through the accumulation of small daily acts of self-governance. When someone says something that activates your irritation, pause before you give them your response. When fear presents itself as a reason to stay where you are, take one concrete step forward before fear has finished making its case. When excitement is pushing you to commit faster than the situation warrants, slow down deliberately and force the examination that the excitement is trying to skip. Discipline does not move when your mood does not support it. Discipline does not revise its commitment based on what the resistance of the moment feels like. Discipline is exclusively loyal to the mission and completely indifferent to the emotional conditions of any particular morning. Every significant failure you can trace in the arc of a human life leads back, when you follow the chain of causality honestly enough, to the decision at a critical moment to choose desire over discipline. When you select discipline as your operating system over desire, you interrupt the cycle that keeps most men trapped in a loop they can feel but cannot name. The loop of chasing pleasure, harvesting the regret that the pleasure cost them, and then chasing more pleasure to dull the edge of the regret. Discipline steps permanently out of that loop by accepting the short-term cost of discomfort in exchange for the long-term gain of genuine capability, genuine freedom, and the kind of earned self-respect that desire, by design, can never provide. When you study the lives of the men and women who built something that outlasted them, the common thread is never luck, and it is never luck, and it is never exceptional talent deployed without discipline. It is the consistent practice of mastery over themselves. They trained themselves to keep moving when the momentum they started with had long since faded. They learned to stay loyal to their direction when their mood was arguing loudly for a different one. Words create or they destroy. There is no third category. Every sentence you release into the world is functioning either as a construction tool or as a weapon, and you are selecting which one it becomes with every single breath. A single word deployed at the right moment with the right intent has the power to open a door that changes the entire direction of your life. And that same word, released carelessly at the wrong moment, can permanently close the same door before you have processed what just happened. Every conversation you have is a genuine opportunity to create value or to destroy it. When you encourage someone who is genuinely struggling, you give them a form of strength that they may carry for years without you knowing. When you share knowledge or perspective that genuinely serves someone, you give them a tool for their own growth. When you speak the truth with appropriate care and timing, you give people the clarity they need to make better decisions. The discipline of speech is genuinely uncommon in a culture that values being heard above the quality of what is said. People want to express before they have taken the time to understand. They want to respond before they have genuinely listened. They want to respond before they have genuinely listened. They want to be recognized for speaking before they have earned the right to be heard through the quality of what they say. Real power in communication is not found in the person who talks the most or the loudest. There will be moments when choosing silence over speech is the most powerful move available to you. Not every thought needs to be converted into language. Not every feeling needs to be shared. Not every opinion needs to be shared. Not every opinion needs to be offered in every room where it could technically be offered. Silence can protect you from revealing more than serves you, from amplifying a conflict that was already beginning to exhaust itself, and from making a commitment to something that deserves more consideration than the heat of the moment is allowing. In the end, Words are tools of enormous power in the hands of the man who has never examined how he uses them. They cause damage that outlasts the moment they were deployed in. In the hands of the man who has developed genuine discipline in his relationship with his own speech, they become the instrument through which he builds relationships that last, trust that compounds, and a reputation that opens rooms before he even enters them. Every conversation you choose to participate in or to walk away from, every piece of content you choose to consume or to ignore, every book you read or decline to read, every person you follow or refuse to give your attention to, all of these are actively shaping you in real time, whether you have a conscious relationship with the shaping or not. Whether you have a conscious relationship with the shaping or not, the mind absorbs everything it is exposed to with consistent regularity, and then begins converting those inputs into the habits of thought that eventually become the habits of action that produce your building. And maintaining control of your mental diet demands awareness as the essential first step. Pay close attention to how you feel after specific interactions and after consuming specific content with genuine regularity. Do you emerge from certain conversations with more energy, more clarity, and a stronger sense of direction? Or do you emerge drained, vaguely anxious, and slightly less confident in your own judgment? Do certain sources of content leave you feeling motivated by genuine possibility? Your self-talk belongs in this conversation about mental diet as a subject that deserves its own serious examination. What you say to yourself about yourself on a daily basis, and particularly what you say in the private internal moments when no external performance is required, is either feeding your capacity for what you are trying to build or systematically undermining it. Every time you repeat to yourself that you are not ready, that you are not the kind of person who succeeds at this level, your life will rise or fall in direct and honest proportion to the quality of what you feed your mind with consistent regularity. Feed it with genuine power, with knowledge that expands what you believe is possible, with examples of people who achieved things that required them to grow beyond their comfort level, and with the internal narrative of someone who is committed to the next version of themselves. And you will act from that power in ways that compound over time into something unmistakable. Calmness is not a character trait assigned at birth. It is a practice built through the accumulated repetition of deliberate choices in small moments. Every time you pause before responding to something that was designed to produce an immediate reaction, every time you refuse to allow anger to dictate the tone or the content of your words, every time you choose to allow anger to dictate the tone or the content of your words, every time you choose to breathe into a moment of genuine pressure rather than contracting against it. People confuse calmness with slowness because they have been conditioned to interpret the absence of visible urgency as the absence of seriousness. That interpretation is structurally incorrect. Calmness does not mean moving slowly. It means moving with precision. It means moving with precision. It means that the speed of your action is determined by what the situation actually requires rather than by the anxiety of feeling like you should be doing more or moving faster. The calm man is not in a hurry because he is confident in his direction. Calm is also the most reliable weapon you possess against your own self-sabotage. How many opportunities have been abandoned not because they were genuinely wrong, but because the anxiety of uncertainty made them feel more dangerous than they were? How many relationships have been damaged not because of any genuine incompatibility, but because an emotional reaction in a moment of pressure said the thing that the calm reflection of the following morning would never have permitted? So hold these four disciplines together in your mind as a unified system rather than as four separate and independent commitments. Master your mouth, and you govern the image the world builds of you through the evidence you provide it. Master your mind, and you govern the quality of the thinking that produces every decision, every action, and every result your life generates. Master your mood, and you govern the energy and the composure with which you navigate every challenge and every opportunity that the world delivers. Your mouth is speaking right now in the private narration of your own experience. Make sure it is speaking in the language of the man. You are in the process of becoming rather than the language of the man you have decided to leave behind. Your mind is processing the inputs of this moment with the habits of thought you have been developing or neglecting for years. Make sure the inputs you choose going forward are calibrated to the level of thinking your goals actually require.